Hello, guys, and welcome to another solo episode. I'm really excited to be here today, as I always am. Today, extra excited because I had this download recently. The other day, I shared a little bit on Instagram, but it is worthy of an episode. And I think it's something that we don't typically think about. And until we go through something that is uncomfortable, something that's a really deep soul challenge and lesson. And I wanted to bring it to you so that I feel like everything is always 2020 vision, right? And sometimes we need the perspective. So I wanted to share this. And yeah, just a quick update. I've definitely been on a really deep soul journey over the past year. As you guys know, I always share that. And it is this theme of continuous surrender and trust and faith and staying in alignment, even when things might not, we might not have physical evidence of that on the outside. And that's truly what faith is, right? It's believing in the unseen and having that faith and hope in the unseen. And there's definitely levels to this, as I'm sure you guys can agree, depending on what our journeys contracted us with. But there was a message that came through that I felt was so important to share. You guys may have heard people say that doing the work, doing the spiritual work, meditating each morning, you are putting energy into your savings account. Like you're adding to your savings account. And we could hear these sayings and these things, and it could be like, ooh, that's a cool thought. But then sometimes we receive a divine download, or at least this is my experience. All of a sudden, I receive the message, and it's like this embodiment and knowing on a deeper level. And I want you guys to take a moment to think about that. Like, have you ever maybe heard something and understood it on one level, but then all of a sudden you received a download or a perspective shift or this wisdom that all of a sudden came through you, and it took meaning in a different way because now it's almost like your thought. Well, that's what happened to me in this moment. And the moment was created. I was actually working with Marcy. Marcy, we have her meditations on Evolve, which are so fun and so deep and transformative. I'm so excited that she wanted to share on our platform with us. So I was hanging out with Marcy. I was talking about something that I was dealing with in the moment, and she took me through this process, and it helped to create space. And I think that's what's so important, whether it's your meditations or meeting with a healer or talking to a therapist or a life coach or whatever it may be. It's so important to have this space held, because sometimes someone asking you questions or conversing with you on whatever it is you're going through, a container of energy is created, and all of a sudden it literally can create, they're holding space so that you can create space for this thought to come through. And this thought came through, and it was like this full body realization that we invest our time and our energy into our healing. I invest every single morning into my practice, this journey of having literally zero faith at one time in my life before I found my practice, to this ultimate sense of surrender. And we're constantly surrendering, and you surrender some more and you surrender some more. My friend Tori always says that, but it's the truth. It's absolutely the truth. And the thought came in that we invest, this is our investment, investing our energy, investing our time into our practice. Doing this work is an investment, because it's helping us in the here and now, but it doesn't stop there. It's helping our future self. So it truly is a savings account. But the thought that really landed, I want to take this a bit deeper. So in our journey, we have peaks and valleys. We have highs and lows. And gratefully, my ascension process was quite blissful, because I had extreme anxiety. I suffered with panic attacks. I found a practice that chilled my nervous system out, finally helped me to feel good in my body. And from there, it was this slow progression of feeling good, feeling calm, spiritually awakening, perspective shift, more gratitude, more love, all of those things. And on the journey from there, there's been peaks and valleys, just like in all of our lives. And every single life looks different and every journey looks different. But what I've come to realize about this investment we're making is when we are feeling the highest of the highs, when we are feeling so connected to source, to oneness, to manifestation energy, to our angels and our guides, that experience and that energy is going to help us in the times of our lowest lows. Because how energy works is we are an energy match for things. When we're feeling good, we're going to see the good. We're going to see the angel numbers. We're going to see the synchronicities. We're going to see the beauty in a rainy day. We're going to be able to see everything that could seem like a challenge or anything around us from this high frequency as a blessing, as a miracle, as expansion. When we're in a lower or slower, more dense vibrational state, there's nothing wrong with it. It is part of the journey. But when we're there, it is harder to literally see the positive that lives all around us because we're going through a hard time or we're experiencing something that we would label as negative or uncomfortable or a challenge. And it's heavier. The emotion is heavier, allowing our body, our field to feel a little bit more constricted and more dense. And it's just simply the law of energy. When you're flying high, you're going to be able, they always say, like, abundance attracts abundance. When you feel abundant, you're going to attract more abundance. When you feel lack, when you feel like you don't have anything, that is the energy that you're going to see and attract around you. And like, we wish it was almost kind of the opposite, because those who are in such despair, if only they could feel a little bit more abundant, but that's where the work comes in. That's where bringing in the energy and the emotion into our body, acting as if, will help us rise through the scale of the emotional frequencies. And if you've never seen that scale, I would Google it just so you have an idea. It's literally a scale of frequencies. So in the moments, the low of the low, the hardships, when we're simply not vibing high. And we have to sometimes be in that space and really sit with it and feel all the effing emotions that come with it. The scariness of the void, the scariness of nothingness, the scariness of darkness. It serves a purpose, and we have to feel everything that space brings us. And we also have to encourage ourselves, our soul, our body, our frequency to rise so that we can be open to being a match to the higher frequency that lives and exists within us. And while I was working through this moment, I thought about the moments in my life where I felt so joyous, so connected, so elevated, like nothing can stop me. Nothing can get in the way of my faith, my belief in the universe, all of that. I realized that as humans, we want evidence. And faith, remember, faith is believing in the unseen. There's no actual tangible evidence for some of the things we need to bring in faith for. But we can use our own experience as our faith. So in those hard moments, we could take a moment to look back and think about the really good moments, that energy that runs through us, that energy of connectivity, of elevation, of abundance, of manifestation. And remember that that exists within us. And we have the potential to get back there. And that every single part of our journey is truly just a phase. The peak, the highest, the most aligned is a phase. The lowest, the darkest is a phase, and it's all temporary. So using our own journey as faith it was just this like mind-blowing moment for me. And that also ushers in the idea that when we're feeling our best, I know sometimes some people feel that they're waiting for the shoe to drop or waiting for something. I don't even want to put that energy out there. I want us, when we're feeling our best, to know that it's a gift, to know that we are worthy of receiving it in this moment, because again, it's temporary, and dive headfirst into all of it and really encouraging our soul and our spirit to experience this high energy on the highest frequency possible. Because remember, when you're vibing high, you're more open and available to even higher frequencies. So it's like when we're high, how high can we possibly go? Because you're available to it. And then in the phases that are more challenging and more dense, you're going to be able to go back and recall it and go back and tap into, ooh, I remember that feeling. And I experienced it. So I actually know what it feels like to feel that way. And I'm for a moment going to welcome that in as my faith. I felt it once. I experienced a manifestation or a miracle once. And I know that I could experience it again. And by practicing this, it will help to shift, because when we're in a lower state, in a harder phase or chapter, it can be with all the tools. And you guys know how I feel about my tools and the tools we have here at Evolve. All the tools, sometimes, yes, we use them, but sometimes we just simply need to feel and to sit and to move through and to accept. That's a tool too. And it's about, I've always said this and I'm repeating myself. You may have heard me say this before, but it's always about knowing when. How long do I need to sit in this until I can finally say, let's go. Let's move up. Let's ascend. Let's move this energy through the body. And now let's choose our new thought and our new energy. And the other aspect I wanted to talk about, which Kabbalah talks about a lot, and you guys all loved the episode with David. He's hopefully coming back for a part 2 at some point. But something that is taught in Kabbalah is the best chapters, the most incredible shifts are all on the other side of the greatest challenges. So if you're in a challenging chapter, or keep this in your pocket for when you are, when you're in it, can you feel into the energy of, this is temporary? I need to be in this right now because something great is about to break through. Can that be your mantra? And can you truly embody that energy while you're in it? Guys, this is a practice. It's a practice because we need to practice it. One time of bringing in that mantra, you might say F you to the mantra. Second time trying to bring in the mantra, no, not ready for that. Not ready for that BS. Third time, maybe it's not BS. Maybe I could feel into that space and really deeply trust. Fourth time, I'm starting to feel the shift. I'm starting to have hope. Fifth time, maybe this is BS again. It's just constant. It's constant. And then you come to that space of knowing truly that this is part of your divine plan for a reason, and that you are safe to trust in how it's unfolding. And even in the challenge, you could be excited and ready for the miracle to come in and shift in any moment. So that is the message I want to share with you today. And I'm sending you so much love. I hope that this serves you. If there's anyone in your life that you think can benefit from this conversation and just this thought and idea that came in and landed in my body, please, you could share the episode with them, share the message with them. But it's also really important to surround yourself with people that can support you through the hard times too. And I'm grateful to have that in my life. And I hope that you have that space, whether it is your meditations in the morning on the Evolve platform, or a therapist you see, or a friend, or a spiritual mentor, or a healer, just having that space to be held and honor your energy so that you can have space to create these shifts and allow that to land within you. But I hope you enjoy this. Please feel free to share this with anyone that you know. I also love seeing you guys tag the podcast on Instagram. It makes me so excited to see who's listening. It's funny because you guys might just assume that I know that you're receiving it, and I know that you're listening in, and I know that people tune into the podcast, but it really is like this one-way stream until I see and hear from you guys what you thought of it, or any conclusions you were able to come to as you listened, or even just like reposting. It means the world to me, and it always fuels the energy to come in here and bring to you what I think you want to hear. And I also love receiving requests as well. But when I have a hot divine download, I always got to get it out to you. So I hope that that this was helpful, hopeful, and brings you just so much faith on today, no matter where you are at in your journey. I'm sending you so much love and gratitude from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. And thank you for allowing me to just be me and talk about all the things that are very aligned to my soul. May the longtime sun shine upon you. I will see you next time. Sat Nam.